Yes, hello everyone. Falter Ashkity Cúilín Media. Welcome back, everyone, to another weekend preview show. And I have to say, lads, since we started the Cúilín Media page, I suppose you could throw the All Ireland Club preview finals in here as well. But I don't think we've had a weekend preview show as anticipated, as looked forward to as this. We have the final round of the National Football Leagues ahead of us, the final round of the National Hurling Leagues ahead of us, action from round 6 of the National LGFA Leagues, and round 4 of the National Camogie Leagues as well. But no doubt it's become one of the staples of the calendar. Super Sunday, all of the games broadcast on TG Cahir. And yes, this Sunday, myself and Aaron will be here for the entire day. Matthew might drop in with us from Oma. We'll see. But we will be doing a live watch along. Super Sunday, reacting to all of the action as it takes place. And we will be going live from 1 p.m. on the Cúilín Media, Gaelic Statsman, Gaelic Fan TV, Faithful Podcast, and on Clehe YouTube channels. All of them will be live at the same time. So be with us on Sunday. As Brendan is saying here, the greatest weekend in the Gaelic football calendar hits us this weekend. You boys are going to be my guide on Sunday, and we hope that plenty more of you join us. Ryan here saying, hey lads, do or die time in both football and hurling. It certainly is, Aaron.
I think did you ask me something? I think my internet must have cut out.
I thought you were a nice cliffhanger. I said it's.
I didn't. I thought. I was like, is he frozen? No, he's not frozen. He's actually there. Okay.
No. It said the comment here from Ryan was, "Hey lads, do or die time in both football and hurling." I said it certainly is.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. Might be do or die time for my internet at this stage, but thankfully, lads, we are working on something. So I think we are getting closer to fixing the problem that's driven me mad the past while. But yeah, no, absolutely, it's a cracking weekend of games. Obviously, as you said there about the watch along on Sunday, it's going to be huge because I think 26 out of 32 teams have something to play for on the final day. So like, there's so much on the line in football, in hurling as well. There's a lot to discuss. Ladies football, camogie. So yeah, anyone who's tuning in, hit the like button, subscribe, and get your comments in as well to let us know your thoughts and predictions ahead of the games.
Well, we do have plenty of comments flying in. We really appreciate every single person getting involved here. And of course, previous guest on the show, Killian the Football Genius, saying, well, lads, huge game Sunday. Armagh supporters will be out in force to drive the Orchard over the line. Plenty of rumours circulating about the return of Rian O'Neill this Sunday also. It would be a perfect time for him to return. Isfan Hedjesi says, hi guys, from Saturday until Sunday, I'm going to be in Ireland and I'm going to watch the Offaly versus Meath Gaelic football match in Tullamore. I'm curious to watch GA again. You've picked a perfect time to do it, my friend. Matthew, you're making the trip up to Oma in County Tyrone. You said this as yourself on the weekend review show. All roads lead to Oma. It's D-Day for Cork as well.
Yeah, it's a vital day. I would say probably one of the biggest games in Cork's recent history in football. It is a decent game to go to, in fairness, and yeah, just hoping that they can get over the line in terms of a promotion charge, and yeah, it should be an excellent day in terms of permutations and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. Brendan getting the banter in early as well. He says, want to get one thing off my chest. Two lads last week said Mayo would beat Kerry. They're picking Armagh this weekend. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who picked Mayo to beat. I don't know who picked Mayo to beat Kerry. Certainly wasn't me anyway. No, it was me. Just in case you're actually taking me serious there. But let's quit the yapping and get straight into the game. So again, Super Sunday, and there's no doubt about what game me and Aaron are going to be paying the most attention to. And this one is the only one in terms of relegation that is a double-edged sword. Dublin go away to Galway. Galway hosting us Sunday, 3:30 p.m. in Pearse Stadium. Dublin made the same trip that we made in the championship last year. Everyone wrote us off then, Aaron. Can we pull the rabbit out the hat again?
I definitely think we have a chance. I think we have a big chance, to be honest with you. I think at the end of the Armagh game, it was very disappointing. You were frustrated, you were annoyed. But when you look back at it now, there was a lot more positives to take out of that game than negatives. The fact that we even scored 125, but yet still fell apart. Do you know what I mean? To score 125 against a team like Armagh, who in my opinion are a better team than Galway, shows how well we played. There is a few things going into this though that do concern me. Like, is Luke Brecknock going to be fit? That's the big one, because he was our best player, I felt, until his injury, and it's not a surprise that when he went off, we actually struggled. Is Con going to be available? That's obviously an interesting one. It's hard to know. Cormac Costello looked a little bit rusty coming off the bench the last day. There is some question marks over our fullback scenario as well. Does he go with Nathan Doran? Does he go with Sean McMahon, who we sort
I'd go with neither. I'd go with Theo Clancy if he's fit.
Yeah, so would I, to be honest with you. I'd like, to be fair, I don't think, like, it was a weird one with Nathan Doran. I think he went off with a head injury the last day, so it's kind of hard to know. You couldn't really judge him too much on the performance, but look, it's huge. Galway, as we've said, have looked quite flaky, I felt, throughout the league. Like, Galway towards the end of games have actually been quite strong. They finished Monaghan quite strong at the end of Mayo, obviously at the end of Kerry, and against Armagh at the closing stages. They've been very good at the end, which is also worrying from a Dublin perspective, because we've actually struggled a little bit towards the end of games. But yeah, it's absolutely huge. And look, I definitely give us a good chance. It is going to be very interesting to see the team sheet, so in terms of who's available. Like, it's not a dead rubber for Galway. Like, there's a strong chance they lose, and then they could potentially go down, depending on other results. So, they're absolutely going to be at it as well. And it will be interesting to see, do they bring back any of the big guns for this game, or do they stick with sort of, some of the younger players that they've had? It's going to be interesting.
Certainly, as you plenty of comments flying in about this game. Dublin is great, saying we've done it in June, we can do it again. Armagh are 7 or 8 points better than Galway. If we get a draw, what do we need to be done for us? He also says, what happened to Theo Clancy? He hasn't got much minutes in this league. I do want to see him return. Mikey here saying as well, all right, lads, looking forward to a great league finale. Wexford versus Westmeath, the pick of the games for me. Ryan as well here saying Galway played well for about 50 minutes against the Rossies. They need to put a full performance together. I think that's the key thing. We saw as well in the game against Armagh, that when you have that little bit of ingredient that you just have to win, it adds something different to the game. Brendan asking you a direct question, Aaron, how is the head after sorting through 4 divisions of permutations? By the way, just finished your prediction video.
Yes. It's a mental final day, lads. It's a mental final day. And shout out to Daniel Hussey actually as well. I've seen his permutations, and he actually helped me a little bit, to be fair, watching his video a little bit as well. There's actually a few things I probably missed along the way, because the video would have went on probably like an hour, or an hour and a half, and I didn't have the time. So
but that's it as well, is that there's a lot of questions about, will Con start? Will Cormac Costello start? Everything like that. But then on the Galway side, you've got a lot of questions flying in there about Shane Walsh, Damien Comer. Like, these lads haven't really featured in the league yet. Yeah. If there's ever a time to bring them in, Matthew, surely this is the moment.
It has to be. Like, Galway are teetering on relegation, and they probably have to bring those players in. And from a Dublin point of view, I think they need to stop Galway's source of goals. Galway have been, I think, the joint second top goal scorers in Division 1. Only Roscommon have more outright. They've the same amount as Kerry. So if Dublin could stop that source, I think they'll go a long way to winning the game. Having said that, easier said than done. Armagh scored 2 goals against Dublin, especially the Oisin Connolly goal. I know Oisin Connolly is a good player, and it was about time he took a goal chance, but it was concerning from a Dublin point of view, the way he went on through on goal there. I agree with you, lads. I think Galway are beatable, certainly. I think if you stop their goals, I think they don't have much after that. Even I see the comment there about Mayo in particular, Kobe McDonald and Dar Bird aren't allowed to play because of under-20s. That's the same from a Galway point of view. Kieran Mulhern and Shane McGlinchey aren't allowed to play either. So you'd imagine this is the weekend they have to bring in Damien Homer, and this is the weekend they have to bring in Shane Walsh as well. But are they match fit? That's the main question about this. It's such a tight one to call. I'd probably go Dublin slightly so, because Dublin have proven they could go to Salthill and beat Galway. Whether that be enough for survival, it depends on the Armagh Kerry game. But yeah, it's going to be tight to see who actually survives in this division.
Yeah, it certainly is. Brendan saying, don't forget, Galway could easily have lost to Kerry too and been in trouble with the last miss of the game. Mikey saying, Dubs need a 5-point win. They will bring more intensity. Galway have been slow starters. It might depend on who has the wind in the second half. Sean saying, if Galway have Walsh there, I'd edge it to them, but I'm going to go for a draw. And Peter says, Dubs defence and KOs a big... and kickouts a big siren. Ryan saying Galway 119, Dublin 116. Peter saying Dubs to drop. Sean saying Dubs to go down. Peter saying sorry lads. We'll see what happens. Matthew has gone for us. I'm going to go for us as well. And I'll tell you why. Galway are slow starters. They have started the league, most of the league games pretty slowly. And we, in the games where we have won, we've started fast. That's been the key trait. With the exception of the Monaghan game, we started fast against Roscommon. We started fast against Armagh. I know Armagh reined us back in, but I think even though Galway did beat Armagh away from home, I would be more nervous going away to the Athletic Grounds on this final day than I would be going away to Pearse Stadium, because we beat Galway in the championship last year when everybody tipped us to not only lose, but to lose heavily. I think our backs are against the wall here. The last thing that Gerard Brennan will want as a new manager in is to kick off his tenure with relegation to Division 2. That is not something that he will want. The Dublin team are going to throw every single thing they have at the wall here to try and stay up. Do not write us off. I think we're going to pull it out. I've seen enough in that final game, in the last game against Armagh. The performances of the likes of Niall Scully, Luke Brannock has been fantastic for us in this league campaign. Padder O'Coffey-Byrne is developing fast into the player that we all knew he was capable of being. And we seem to have settled on a goalkeeper in Hugh O'Sullivan as well. I'm not sure if maybe they'll chop and change last minute and maybe for experience, but Evan Comerford back in for this game. But I'm going to go with us to win this game. Given that we need to win by 5, I'm going to go for us to win by 6, and we'll throw it all at the wall. Aaron, what are you thinking? Will we do it?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Dublin as well. Now, what I will say is I know there might be some Galway fans who might be maybe getting a bit nutty that we've all predicted to Dublin to win the game. Like, what I would say is that I think Galway, when they do have a fully fit squad, when they do have Comer, Walsh, maybe Matthew Thompson and these lads back later in the year, I do think Galway are the better team. I will say that. And I think if these two met each other in a knockout championship game, you probably would give Galway the edge over the last couple of years. But I just think at this moment, the way Dublin are playing, with Galway missing some of the players, with the fact that they have looked very beatable in the league, like even against Monaghan, if Monaghan had anything about them there, they could have potentially beat them. So yeah, I'll go with Dublin as well.
We got a question there from Brendan saying who's been the biggest disappointment in the league so far. I think it has to be Monaghan, just given the way that they're losing the games. They're not really putting up too much of a fight. I know that they're blooding in a lot of new players, but most of the other games are competitive. And we'll see if they can change it this year. Mikey saying, I think Dubs will win, but Galway seem to have a streak of luck this year. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dubs are leading by 4 with a minute to go and Conroy scores a 2-pointer to save Galway from relegation. But that is it. We've gone with Dublin to do their part. And this is how the league table is shaping up heading into the final week. So big shout to GAA League Tables. You can see the social media handle there. So if you're not following, please do go give them a follow. They do absolutely fabulous stuff. And when you're getting the calculator out, as me and Aaron will be doing on the live stream, this page is a must follow. You can see there Donegal and Kerry on 9 points, Mayo and Roscommon on 8, Galway on 6, Armagh and Dublin on 4, but Monaghan on 0 as well. And the situation is this: if Dublin beat Galway, Dublin would be ahead of Galway on a head-to-head. But if Armagh beat Kerry, then the whole situation turns into a big old mess. And yeah, we're going to move on next to that Armagh versus Kerry game. Armagh host Kerry Sunday at 3:30 p.m. in the Athletic Grounds. Matthew, if you're in the Armagh camp, what's your mentality heading into this weekend?
Probably confidence, considering the result against Dublin last week and the fact they got to rub the green, which they haven't done in the previous games. Regarding this game, these are the 2 highest scorers in Division 1 on average. So you'd imagine this will be a high-scoring game. Do Kerry does Jack O'Connor want the league final? I think it all depends on that. If Jack O'Connor badly wants a league final, if he wants them to keep his record going, Kerry could be hard bit, but it's in the Athletic Grounds as well, and Armagh fans will get behind their team. This is a tight game to call. Initially, before it was going on, I was probably going to back Armagh because the want is there. But again, as you said, that will throw the whole thing up in caboose in terms of the relegation battle. Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think it depends how Armagh deal with David Clifford and John O'Shea and how they get roused by the fans in this one. I'm going to say Armagh do it. I think Armagh will win the game. Whether it'll be enough in terms of surviving, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we've got comments flying in about this one. Porter saying Kerry by 5. Dublin is great saying on Kerry. Did not think I would ever say that. Peter saying Kerry by 8. Gavin saying really depends if Clifford plays and Jack wants the league. Peter saying Jacko definitely going for league 7 out of 7 in terms of unbeaten. Ryan saying Armagh have finally learned to score goals. Brendan saying honestly as a Kerry man I'm not entirely bothered by the end result of this game because we got a lot of fresh young talent through in the league, but I feel we win by 3. Aaron, it's been a weird month in terms of sport. First we're rooting for England to beat France in the Six Nations, and now we're rooting for Kerry to beat Armagh in the league to help keep us up.
Yeah, I know it is a little bit unusual, isn't it? It's like all our enemies. What did we do to all of a sudden be supporting all our enemies and everything else? But yeah, that's kind of how it is kind of tabled out, and it would be so typical then for Kerry to lose the one time we actually are cheering them and want them to actually win the game. But yeah, I do agree with Matthew as well. I think it does all depend on Kerry's outset and mindset. I think if Kerry are at full tilt and are 100%, I think they win the game, because I do think Armagh, their defence is quite vulnerable as well. And the way Dublin were able to turn them over, the amount of space that the Dublin forwards got in the first half, like could you imagine the Kerry forwards then? Could you imagine David Clifford and the space he would get? Dylan Gainey coming in form as well. I think they'd cut Armagh to shreds, to be honest with you, given how Armagh defended. Now, maybe the good thing is for Armagh is you have Aidan Forker coming off the bench the last day, Aaron McCoy back, so maybe they are kind of getting a few players back who were injured. And yeah, obviously some rumours about Rian O'Neill back. Whether that's true, I have no idea. But if he is back, then obviously that is a huge addition, even if they bring him off the bench in the final kind of 10 to 15 minutes. But do you know what? I think Kerry wouldn't have played and wouldn't have gone as strong as they did against Mayo if they weren't going for the league final, in my opinion, because they were already safe. Do you know what I mean? They weren't going to, they had 7 points on the board. They weren't going to get relegated. I don't think you go as strong. I don't think you play as well as that if you're not going to go to the league final. I think it'll be very, very close, but I think Kerry ever so slightly. But it will be interesting because I think the stadium will probably be all Armagh fans, to be honest with you, because I don't think many Kerry fans will make the journey for this game. So that could maybe have a big bearing on the game as well.
Yeah, most people in the comments are saying Kerry, and quite a few comments I'm surprised by are very confidently Kerry, Kerry by 7 and things. I'm a little bit surprised, guys. I can't lie, because I have to be honest. I just think your why here, Armagh's why is so much bigger than Kerry's why. I know that Jacko will want to get to a league final and stuff like this, and Kerry went strong against Mayo, but Armagh have their backs against the wall here, and they need to win in order to stay up. And I just think home advantage, you pack out, Armagh fans are great on the road. They're going to pack out that stadium. They are not going to want to lose that. They're going to throw every single thing they have at this. I think Armagh are going to win. I just think their why is way bigger than Kerry's. Kerry want to get to a league final, sure. They've won the league last year. They're not really, their main focus is there. And yeah, the point about the fans is really good as well, because Armagh will outshout them in the stands. They will feel like the wind will be blowing behind Armagh's back. And I just can't see anything other than Armagh win. With no disrespect to Kerry, I want them to win. But we're getting comment. I can't find the comment exactly, but there was a comment in there. I think it was from Sean Surgu. Here we go. Rumor is Clifford is staying home. And he's saying Kerry will still beat them by 6 or 7. If that's true, and if Rian O'Neill is back, all signs point to Armagh for me, and that turns it into a big old mess if we manage to get the job done against Galway. Aaron, do you still remember the permutations off by heart by any chance, if that is the situation that ends up happening?
Yeah, so I think if we beat Galway by 4, we go above them. In terms of score difference, I actually said 8 in my video or 6 in my video or something like that, because I forgot that Galway would decline in score difference, obviously with beating them. So I think Armagh will do, as far I can't remember the league table now, but I think Armagh are slightly better than us. I think we're on -2. Armagh are on plus. Yeah, I don't think the score difference is on that though.
No, apologies.
But I think I remember though. I think Armagh are on like +2. Dublin are on -2. So like if Armagh beat Kerry, then obviously they're going to go up on score difference. So I think the main one really is win by 4. If Armagh win, fair enough. But if we win by 4, then obviously 3 teams will be on 6 points. We'll finish above Galway, and then we'll be okay. But then that could mean Galway go down.
Yeah. And you said it from a while back that you thought that Galway would be the ones to go down. Matthew, have you made a prediction on this one yet?
Look, I'm looking at it now. If Dublin do beat Galway by 4, and as we predicted, Armagh will beat Kerry, it'll be Galway relegated, because Armagh have a score difference of 5. So that will be enough. The only way they could go is up after that. So,
well, here's the table. Just screenshotted from the official RT page. So you have Donegal and Kerry up there on 9 points. Kerry with a vastly higher score difference, but obviously Donegal on the head-to-head have the win. Mayo, Roscommon both on 8 points. They meet this weekend, obviously, to decide who gets a shot at going into that league final. Should either Kerry or Donegal slip up, then you've got Galway, Armagh and Dublin battling it out for that final spot to see who goes down along with Monaghan. And you see there Dublin with a score difference of -2, Armagh on 5, Galway on 5. So yeah, we need to win by 5 in order to pull ourselves out of this situation. So I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to stay up. I think Armagh will beat Kerry, and I think we'll beat Galway by enough to stay up. And is that kind of what we've all gone for, Aaron? I think it's what you've gone for as well. Matthew?
I have said Kerry will beat Armagh. I think we will beat Galway. What the margin will be, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 points, but I think we'll beat Galway and have enough. I think Armagh will lose to Kerry, so Armagh go down.
So Armagh go down for you. Matthew?
I think Dublin will beat Galway in the end, but one of the comments actually said Galway will be 4 points down, and a Paul Conroy 2-pointer would relegate Dublin.
Yeah.
So you're going Dublin to go down?
We'll go Dublin to go down, yeah, just because of Paul Conroy.
Yeah, it could, like, it's that's the way that it's balancing out. So I've gone with Galway to go down, Aaron's gone with Armagh to go down, and Matthew has gone with Dublin to go down. So literally we do have as mixed a bag as you could possibly have in that situation. But we're going to move on to the Mayo Roscommon game, and this one is basically a league semi-final if Donegal or Kerry slip up in their respective games. And obviously I've gone personally for Armagh to beat Kerry, and if that happens, this becomes a league semi-final. It throws in on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. in McHale Park. The local rivals. Aaron, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, I actually think Roscommon are going to win this game, to be honest with you. And one of the main reasons being is the fact that these two will play each other in the championship, you'd imagine, in a couple of weeks' time. Look, I think Roscommon need to beat New York, Mayo need to beat London. That might be the other way around, but they need to play those teams, and then they'll play each other in a Connacht semi-final. And you'd imagine, like, with Mayo, obviously, as Matthew was alluding to, they're going to be missing a couple of key players from the under-20s. Mayo have had big seasons where they've gotten to league finals. They've had great league campaigns in the past before, and it hasn't actually helped them. It's actually hindered them. Now, whether it would, it might help them this time around, but I just think after such a heavy defeat versus Kerry, Roscommon, like the buzz around the county after beating Donegal, the way they're playing at the moment, the fact that Roscommon haven't won a league title since the 1980s as well, like we were talking about the why earlier, Roscommon's why here is far bigger, in my opinion, than Mayo's. And yeah, I think Roscommon are going to do it narrowly.
Matthew, what are you expecting from this one?
I agree. I think Roscommon will win the game, and simply because Mayo won't want a kind of scenario as similar as last year, losing the league final comfortably enough. and then go into the championship under negativity. Roscommon haven't won the league in a long, long time, and it's a massive opportunity to win a trophy for them. I know Donegal will probably get to the league final against them, but it will be a tough game, but it's a massive opportunity to win a trophy. And the way Roscommon have trotted along the league so far, I think it would be a shame if they didn't get to a league final. I'm going to say Roscommon win it.
How big is the influence that Kobe and Dara Byrne are going to be playing?
It shouldn't be as big as this, to be fair, because
it's not a guarantee that they won't be there, but even if they are there, they might be a little bit more jaded from playing the under-20s as well.
And player welfare is a big thing, yeah. And then again, I don't think Mayo, even if they were allowed to play them, I don't think they'll play them in this game, because essentially, other than the fact if Andy Moore wants a league final, it might be something on the line. But if he doesn't want the league final and doesn't kind of want a repeat, same as last year, it's a dead rubber for Mayo. So why would you risk them? You play them in the championship when you're able to play them. So, and the under-20s badly need these players more than the seniors. And it was shown during the week when Mayo only beaten by Sligo by 2 points. Like Kobe and Dara Byrne ended up being the grain of rice that night. So, yeah, I don't see Mayo playing the two of them, and I think that will be a big loss to Mayo in terms of their forward division. So, yeah, I think Roscommon will get over the line.
And one thing that's really, really cool, I didn't know that the two we used to do these live streams added in this, but we can actually do a live poll, which is pretty cool going into the weekend, Aaron. But this one, who will be relegated from Division 1? So if you're watching live, please do get your vote in. Will Dublin go down? Will Galway go down? Or will Armagh go down? And I will absolutely take it personal, every answer that you give. So will Aaron. So, Aaron, what are you expecting from this?
Sorry, I just mesmerized by that poll there. That's changing. Every day's a learning day, boys. Every day's a learning day.
They've just added it in. I've never seen this tool before. I got a notification when we came in. I got a notification of like new tools in the studio and everything like that. So it's kind of cool.
You said a prediction for Mayo Roscommon, did you?
What?
You said my prediction for Mayo Roscommon, was it?
Yes, if you could.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rossies, as I was saying there. Like, I think, I agree with Matthew's point as well. I think Mayo will rest players. I think Roscommon's a big opportunity for them to get to a league final. So I'll go with the Rossies.
Okay, very, very interesting. Liam here, all the way from Canada, saying just for personal reasons, the Dubs are heading down. Love you, lads, I swear. Matthew, go easy on us. Have a great show, lads, as well, he says. But yeah, so in this game between Mayo and Roscommon, I'm going to go for a Rossies win. I think there is a part of me that is letting the heart come into a little bit, but I really do love the journey that they've been on in this league and how they've proved everyone, including me, proved wrong. They have absolutely been fantastic in this league campaign, and players like Damon Murta and Enda Smith have been colossal. And Derek Craig as well has absolutely come into his own in that full forward position. And it would be probably one of the sweetest ways that they could clinch a spot in the league final. I think Mayo as well, I do agree, in previous years that they've got to a league final, it really hasn't helped them at all. Like they've then, even when they've won the league final, it's kind of flattered them then going into the championship. So yeah, I think Roscommon in this game, I think it's going to be a absolute war between the two of them. I don't think either of them are going to take a back step. It's a bit of a prelude to the Connacht Championship should the two of them run into each other. And yeah, I'm going to go with Roscommon to win this. Is that a Roscommon clean sweep?
I think it is, yeah.
It is indeed. And we're going to move on then to the final game in Division 1 Round 7, Monaghan versus Donegal, Sunday at 3:30 p.m. in St. Tiernack's Park. Now, Monaghan are relegated from Division 1, regardless of what happens this weekend. However, Donegal still have a job to do. The fact that they've let their results over the last couple of weeks slip up, that means that they have to get the job done this weekend against Monaghan. And the thing is, Matthew, I know that Monaghan have been poor, but they are now with nothing to lose. And is there a little bit more of a fear factor that comes with that?
I don't think any factors come into this. Donegal are going to whip them. I'm sorry. Donegal will win by 10 plus, possibly even 15, 20. I don't see Monaghan getting a result in this one at all, even with pride. Donegal want the league final because they've only won one league title in their history. No matter what Jimmy says in the post-match interviews or whatever, Monaghan are going to get hammered. I'm sorry. I'd love to be more positive about Monaghan at this present moment, but they're not getting anything out of this game.
Aaron, do you agree?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it will be fairly comfortable for Donegal. I don't agree. Like, I don't believe Jim McGuinness when he's saying that he's not bothered about getting to a league final. I think, to be honest, that's just taking the pressure off his players. And that's just almost having like a kind of pre-made excuse in case it does go wrong. So that it takes the pressure off his players going into Ulster and into the All-Ireland series. So yeah, I think Donegal are far too strong. Monaghan, if they were going to show some fight or some bottle, they would have showed it by now. So yeah, I think Donegal comfortably.
I think Donegal are going to win it as well. Brendan here as well saying the Division 1 dead rubber. The only thing to worry about from Donegal perspective is McGuinness's attitude towards the league. Gavin with a very, very good comment here saying 3 worst 8th place teams since the current format in 2007. 2026 Monaghan minus 63 with 0 points with 6 played. 2014 Westmeath minus 68 with 0 points. And 2009 Westmeath with minus 70 and 0 wins as well. So if Monaghan get a pasting, they actually have a chance this weekend of going down as the worst, statistically, the worst team that Division 1 has seen. Now, that still should be a little bit of momentum to go out swinging. That should be something. Just throw something at Donegal, make them work for it. But I do think Donegal will win. So just to recap on what we're thinking, the poll as well, I'm going to take it down. 80% of you said that Dublin are going to go down this weekend. 20% said Galway. Nobody out of the respondents thinks that Armagh are going to go down. I'm going to hide the poll for now. But as it said, if you want to vote in the poll, you still can. I haven't stopped it yet. You just type 1 into the live chat if you think that Dublin are going to go down, 2 into the live chat if you think Galway are going to go down, and 3 into the live chat if you think Armagh are going to go down. That's if you want to get involved in the voting. So we are going to carry on and figure out how our table would shape up. Brian saying a hammering there for Monaghan. So basically, I think that the table is going to shape up like this at the end. So I've picked that Armagh will beat Kerry, and that means that Kerry would slip. And I picked that Roscommon would beat Mayo. So based off my predictions, the league final will be Donegal against Roscommon, and Dublin will survive, Armagh will survive, and Galway will get relegated with Monaghan. Based off of Matthew's predictions, Donegal will be in the league final, and Roscommon will join them. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matthew. And then in the relegation zone, you've gone for Dublin to go down alongside Monaghan. And Aaron, you've gone with Armagh. Sorry, is it Armagh you've gone with? You've gone with Armagh to get relegated. You've gone with Kerry to beat them. And you've gone with Donegal to beat Monaghan. So you've gone with a Donegal-Kerry league final and Armagh to get relegated with Monaghan, Dublin and Galway both to survive. So that's your predictions. And just to give a big shout out as well as we head into the final week, big shout out to you, Matthew, for putting these stats together. And they are up on the Gaelic Statsman and Cúilín Media Instagram pages. But heading into the final week, there are the top scorers. You can see Dermot Murtagh absolutely flying at 430 for him. David Clifford with 329. Dara Craig with 227. Oisin O'Neill with 32 points. Shawnee O'Shea, 31. Ryan O'Donoghue, 29. Rob Finnerty, 126. Keane McConville has obviously exploded into life in this league, 122. Conor O'Donnell with 314. And Enda Smith with 411, which is crazy considering he's not even in the full forward line. And then from play, David Clifford, 225 out of his tally has come from play. Dermot Murtagh with 415. Dara Craig with 218. And then you can see down the list some heavy hitters across the division. And now we're going to move on to Division 2. And I think it's fair to say, lads, Division 2 captures just as much, if not more, interest in terms of the stats, the viewers, the comments, everything like that. It's always one of the most talked about divisions every single year. But there's no question what game we're most interested to. And that is, obviously, again, we have a horse in the race. Matthew has a horse in the race, to be exact. Tyrone versus Cork, Sunday at 1:15 p.m. in Healy Park in Omagh. Matthew, you're going to be making your way to this one. How are you feeling heading into the weekend?
Slightly nervous considering Tyrone haven't performed well this league campaign, but we've said all along this pod that Tyrone, they have to click at some time. I hope to God it's not this weekend. Really, please, Tyrone, just stay underperforming just for a little while yet, please, because we don't want to get heartbreak, please. But maybe they will, because like if they let Cork win, then it means Derry stay in Division 2 with them. And
Yeah, if there's anybody they don't want to go up, it's Derry.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it's an interesting kind of game, but from a Cork point of view, I think it's a huge game. Is it our biggest since 2010 or even 2012 that Donegal semi-final? I think it probably is. We haven't been in Division 1 in 10 years, and yeah, as on the Star Sport podcast during the week here, McCarthy said this, that a county the size of Cork shouldn't have to wait 10 years to be in Division 1. And he's bang on. Like it shouldn't have come to this, but it has, and Cork need to go up sooner rather than later. And the way they have performed this year, there's been the Derry performance up in Celtic Park was really bad, but especially the second half. But other than that, it's been largely positive. And yeah, I think Cork need to start well in the first half, because I've actually stumbled across a stat during the week about Tyrone. In the last 7 games, they've trailed at halftime. They've failed to win. They've lost 6 games and they've drawn 1. They drew to Kildare in the first game of the league campaign. So, Cork are notoriously fast starters in the first half. Slow finishers. We've lost every second half in the league campaign so far. But I think if we gain a lead in the first half, it will all depend, I think, in the first half. I know it's small, but the coin toss. If Cork have the win in the first half, I think we have the potential to kick a load of 2-pointers with Sherlock, Chris O, Dara Sheedy, Mark Cronin. We could steam ahead after that. And if we're ahead by a large amount, there's a question mark about this Tyrone side as well. Do they have the bottle to go back into the game? Do they have the want to go back into the game? Because let's not forget, Tyrone, okay, there's a slight chance they go down, but a lot has to go against Tyrone for them to go down. So I don't think that's going to happen. They're probably going to still finish 5th. And will their eyes firmly go towards our bad Ulster Championship? I'm not sure. And this game is bigger for Cork. I'm going to say we edge it, so I'm going to say by 2 points, but it's going to be absolutely tight.
It is like tiptoeing past the bear that's asleep, isn't it? Like, it's like Tyrone could just click. You never know. There's rumors and there's live comments coming in here, kind of people speculating, is there issues in the panel and stuff like this? What is wrong with Tyrone? Why are they not performing? Gavin here saying, unfortunately for Cork, I thought there were good signs by Tyrone against me, but hopefully Cork can go up and get at least a draw. Sean says, very hard to predict because you just don't know what to get from Tyrone. I do feel that Cork always raise their game for a big county, whereas Tyrone have a track record of underperforming. So I back Cork. Sean says Meath and Cork to go up. There's a lot of comments in here. Grand Admiral Dane saying Matthew's right. Cork's first half against Meath stopped any comeback for us. It's really, really interesting to look at it. Dylan was great saying Tyrone most win Sam Maguire this year. I do think if you're going off form, you say Cork. If you're going off form, I think if Tyrone played what they're capable of with home advantage, I think they would win this game. But it's just a question of, like, where are they at? Like, Dara Canavan will not be here for this game. Other players did step up and play well against Meath, I do agree, but Meath still turned them over and beat them. And Cork beat Meath. So it's like, I know that GA math doesn't always add up and stuff like this. I have a feeling it's going to be a draw. I have a feeling it's going to be a really weird, because I think as well, I know that Derry are in much better form, but Cork didn't travel so well up to Ulster last time. And I know it's a different opponent, but as you mentioned yourself, Matthew, Tyrone aren't entirely out of the woods. A lot would have to go against them, but they aren't entirely out of the woods. I'm going to go for a draw. Aaron, what are you thinking for this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Cork narrowly, I think, to be honest. I do think, I do agree. Like, I think if Tyrone are the kind of sleeping giant a little bit there, like, you feel like if they can get going with the players and the potential that they have, then then it could be serious. But it's one of them for Tyrone. Look, they're not going to get relegated. Too much needs to happen. So it is, in many ways, I do think they'll have an eye on Armagh. They stayed back after the game, the game against Meath. They stayed back to watch the Armagh play against Dublin. I do think they'll have one eye on that, to be honest with you. And I think Tyrone will maybe nearly rather be written off going into that Armagh game, because it's vintage Tyrone to just turn up and beat them. Do you know what I mean? Not saying that will happen, but we've saw it happen many a time before. And who knows, maybe we could even see it in this game. But I do think Cork have a little bit more. They're a little bit more consistent, and Tyrone, yeah, I just don't really trust them, to be honest with you, at the moment. So I think Cork will do it.
Well, looking at the table here, here's how Division 2 looks heading into that final week. So obviously Cork on top with 10 points based off their head-to-head record against Meath, even though Meath have a better score difference. Louth are in third place. They have rapidly reinserted themselves into the conversation for promotion. Should Meath or Cork slip up at the head-to-head, then would obviously go against them. They would need Derry to win that game as well. Then it goes into a score difference and turns into a big old mess. And there you most definitely would need the calculators out. But then you look at Derry's score difference. If they win, they still have a great shot of going up. Tyrone then on 5 points, Cavan on 4, Kildare on 3, and Offaly down the bottom there on 0 points, relegated already before the ball is kicked on this final week. We mentioned there the permutations and everything like that. Derry's destiny could very much be in their own hands. If Cork or Meath slip up and lose, then it turns into a bit of a crazy situation, especially if Louth win also. But Aaron, going into this game, Sunday 1:15 in Celtic Park, they just need to focus on getting the win in this one.
Yeah, and I think they will. I do think it'll be a little bit closer than people think, though. I think Cavan will come in with a bit more confidence following the win versus Offaly. There could be a scenario like obviously Cavan do have the head-to-head with Kildare, but there could be a scenario maybe where it does come down to score difference or something like that. If Tyrone, Cavan, and Kildare all end on the same points or something like that. But I do think Cavan will be fine. To be honest, I think they will be a little. I don't think it'll be an absolute whitewash or anything like that, but I still expect Derry to win the game and still to be relatively comfortable, probably by 5 or 6 or something like that. Derry have to respond, and look, they have to put themselves in the best position possible. If obviously they don't have the head-to-head with Meath, so that kind of is the problem there, but they do have the head-to-head with Cork if Cork lose. And obviously we'll see with Louth potentially beating Kildare, but Derry do have the best score difference out of everyone in this division, so that could potentially stand to them. But I am going to go with Derry to win the game.
Matthew, do you agree?
Yeah, I think Derry will get over the line as well. Cavan, I'm not sure will they go up to Celtic Park and get a result. In all fairness, Derry want to get at least their end of the bargain done. Will it be enough? I'm not sure. Obviously, we'll be hoping for a Cavan win, just in case we do mess up. But no, I don't see. I think Derry will get over the line.
Gavin saying at least Cavan are in this position. Cavan sounded dire against Offaly. You have to give this all and get a performance. Loud show. Derry are not invincible. To be fair, Derry have been very good at home. They've been very, very good at home. They beat Tyrone there. They beat Cork there. They've looked pretty tough to beat in their home patch. And I think that the same thing is going to be the case. I think they're going to beat Cavan this weekend. So that would put Derry on 10 points as we look at it here. So far, we've said that Cork will not lose that game. I said that they'll get a draw. Both Aaron and Matthew said that Cork would win. So that's Cork up their destiny in their own hands. Where it would get interesting then is if Cork or Meath slipped up. And if Derry got that win, then their head-to-head against Meath would see Meath still go up even if Meath slipped up. But if Cork also slipped up and Derry joined them, then Derry would go up definitely with the level of score difference that they have. But are you ready? Because let's add another complicator into the mix. Kildare versus Louth, Sunday at 1:15 in St. Conleth's Park. Now, this one has permutations going both ways because we just mentioned as well about how Derry are likely to beat Cavan. That potentially throws Kildare a lifeline as well, because if Kildare can beat Louth and if Cavan lose to Derry, they leapfrog them into the safety positions and Cavan will go down instead. They're playing against promotion chasing Louth in St. Conleth's Park. Can they turn them over? I'll go to you, Matthew.
Having looked at Kildare and Parky Rin, I don't think so. I think Louth will win it. Sorry to Kildare fans, but I thought Cork were much the better team over Kildare. The way Kildare defended as well, they were way too open last day. And if you give those spaces to Samuel Roy, to Kieran Downey if he plays, to even Kieran McArdle, they will absolutely roast Kildare. I'm sorry to say, obviously Kildare are at home, and it might change a small bit in terms of the outcome. But no, I can't see Kildare winning this one. I think Louth will win. They'll end at 10 points in the league is very, very good. They probably won't go up though. They need a lot to go their way. But no, I think Kildare will do enough to get over the line.
I agree. Is a clean sweep for Louth, Darren?
Yeah, I think so. I think Kildare just look very, very beatable, dejected at the moment. And yeah, like a couple of weeks ago, maybe I would have said Kildare home advantage, they could get up for it. But the form of Louth combined with the fact that Kildare have looked very poor, I think Louth will do it.
The one that I was surprised about, and Grand Admiral Dane talking about it here, saying hard to say with home advantage for Kildare is major, but Meath hammered them at home. Yeah. Like, I just really, really do. Peter saying he'll tune in from the Kildare Lounge. Gavin saying maybe Louth could get cocky at the same time, but it wasn't even their best team. That Bet Derry can't see them losing. Sean saying all these permutations and not many Division 2 games are live on GA Plus/TV. Well, most of them are being shown by TG Car, of course, and that's a Super Sunday. Ryan saying Kildare 118, Louth 15 points is what Ryan's going for. So we've gone for a clean sweep of Louth to win that game, and that brings us on to the final game in Division 2's round 7, which is Offaly versus Meath, Sunday at 1:15 p.m. in O'Connor Park. Once again, the destiny for Meath is completely in their own hands. If they get anything from this game, they go up. If they get a draw, if they get a win, they're up. So, I mean, it's going to happen, isn't it? I know we all love Liam. But when you're looking at the form, is there any way Offaly can derail the cart here, Aaron?
No, I think it'll be comfortable for Meath. For Meath and the progress they've made over the year, the results they've gotten, they win this game comfortably. There's no other way about it.
Yeah. Aaron, Matthew, do you agree? Is it a clean sweep?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Meath to win the game as well, even though Offaly I think will be a lot closer because, in fairness, Dylan Hyland could be back into the forward line. I think that has massively boosted Offaly, but no, I don't see them overturning Meath in Tullamore. Like, they had the chance to beat Meath when they were on form last year and they didn't do it in the Leinster Championship. I don't think they'll do it this time.
Well, then let's have a look at what that would mean for our table. So we've all gone for Meath to beat Offaly. So that would put Meath on 12 points and promoted, confirmed then to Division 1. We've all gone for Cork to get something at least out of the game against Tyrone, and that would also put Cork up to Division 1. So we're all going for Cork and Meath to seal promotion to Division 1 this weekend. And then down the other end, we've all gone for Kildare to fail to take advantage of Cavan slipping up against Derry. We've all gone for Cavan to lose to Derry, which would open the door for Kildare if they were able to get something from the game against Louth to get a win in that game. But we don't think they will. And so that will be them down with Offaly. Where it gets most interesting, though, is if Cork slip up, because that would put Cork on 10 points. Could you imagine if Meath lost Offaly as well and Louth and Derry got wins? That would mean that 4 sides would be on 10 points in score difference. You'd really need the calculators out at that point. But that is what we've gone for. Cork and Meath to go up, Kildare and Offaly to be relegated. And just a quick reminder as well of who the scorers are heading into this final week. You can see there Samuel Roy, the top scorer overall with 235. And from play, it's Chris O'Jones, who's been on fire for the Rebels. 317 for him. Absolutely fantastic league campaign. All of those stats are on the Gaelic Statsman Instagram page, and it's collabed with the Cúilín Media Instagram page. So we're going to move on now to Division 3's round 7, and boy, we have some unbelievable clashes here. We have Down taking on Laois Sunday at 2 p.m. in Park Esler. We have Limerick taking on Fermanagh Sunday at 2 p.m. in McNeville Park. Sligo taking on Clare Sunday at 2 p.m. in Markovich Park. And Wexford hosting Westmeath Sunday at 2 p.m. in Wexford Park. Been voted on in the comments as the game to watch this weekend for a lot of people, Aaron. You were doing all the permutations and everything like that. I'd say Division 3's thrown up quite a few.
Absolutely, yeah. And Wexford Westmeath, though, is a bit more straightforward. Whoever wins is promoted. Simple as that. A draw is good enough for Westmeath because they have a little bit of a better score difference. But yeah, it's a huge game, even for like Wexford football. Like when you think about it, and I was going to say in my own video, like, is this the biggest game for Wexford football since the 2011 Leinster final. There might have maybe been another big league game in there somewhere along the way, maybe potentially since then. But it does feel like this is a huge game for Wexford football. Look, they could win the game, and obviously playing down in a league final and the way things are shaping up probably is going to be tough for them to play All-Ireland series football. But at the same time, even being in that conversation, being one of the clear favourites for the Tailteann Cup is huge. But I do think Westmeath have the know-how of winning these games. They've been in these promotion battles before. They've gotten over the line. I know their team has changed a little bit. I know Wexford have the home advantage, but I still think Westmeath might narrowly do it. I do just think they have a little bit more firepower in terms of attack. I think it'll be a highly entertaining game. Like, both score big numbers. You saw what Westmeath got against Limerick. Wexford in the last game as well got a big number against Clare, but I just think Westmeath have a little bit more, and but I do think this is going to be one of them games. It's going to be a bit mental. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a late 2-point or a late penalty or a big like point swing or something like that. Like, this is going to be mental, I think. But I do think Westmeath are going to come through it.
And in the other games, Down, Laois, Limerick, Fermanagh, Sligo, Clare, if you were to take your pick in the three of them.
Yeah, like, you know what? Like, I actually think Fermanagh will beat Limerick because Fermanagh are coming in on form. There is a comment there seen from Porter. They are relegated just with the fact that they play Limerick and they would need Limerick to draw because Sligo have the head-to-head with Fermanagh. So Fermanagh are down regardless of what happens, but I do just have a funny feeling they might overturn Limerick with a bit of form. I know Limerick have to win the game in terms of the relegation battle. I actually think Clare might beat Sligo as well. Another kind of turn up there. I do think Clare will want to carry a bit of momentum going into the Tailteann Cup. And yeah, I think Down will be Laois as well. There is an outside chance Laois could get relegated, but they do have a favourable enough score difference over Limerick. So I do think they'll be okay. But I do think Down will win it, even if they have nothing to play for as well. So a bit of a weird one. I do think a lot of the teams who have nothing to play for might actually win this weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely mental. Mikey here saying I fancy Wexford to do it, but Kildare will rob their place in the Sam Maguires. They will be relegated as Tailteann Cup champions. Ryan saying Limerick need more attackers. Mikey says I think Down will beat them in the final. Peter saying Limerick are in serious bother. Ryan Gallagher saying here Wexford by 5. Westmeath always slip up against lower level teams. Gavin, of course, saying class story for Wexford if they do go up. Matthew, what games have kind of caught your eye? And then if you were to take your pick from those 4 games, what are you thinking?
It's obviously Wexford and Westmeath. That is probably one of the games of the weekend in terms of the permutations there. I agree with Aaron in terms of Wexford. It's probably better if they stay in Division 3 in terms of gaining a bit of confidence. They've done well to get to this position. But if they were to go into the Tailteann Cup, having finished no disgrace, but 3rd place in Division 3, that's nothing to be laughed about, in fairness. And if Wexford go into the Tailteann Cup, I think they have a really realistic chance of winning it. Even though if they lose the final in Division 3, we all predicted Kildare to go down, they will be in the Tailteann Cup anyway. But imagine they win the Tailteann Cup, they get a bit of momentum in Division 3, and then they go into Division 2 ready-made and ready to go. I think that'll be better for Wexford football in a way. It might be a blessing in disguise if they lose this weekend. I think Westmeath, look at the players that they have, are much more ready for Division 2 simply because they were in Division 2 and competed well last year than Wexford are. And I have a feeling Westmeath will win because of that reason. But it's no disgrace. Wexford have had an absolutely brilliant campaign regardless of what happens this weekend. But I think Westmeath will edge it. In terms of the other games, I think Down will beat Laois. They want the 7-7 record retained. I think Sligo will beat Clare. Their home record is pretty good, so I think they'll get over the line there. I actually agree with Aaron as well. Fermanagh will beat Limerick. I think they're in a good vein of form at this present moment of time as well. They're getting their players back, and I think they'll get over the line against Limerick, which will relegate the Treaty County.
I'm going to go with Down to beat Laois. I will agree with you. I think Fermanagh will beat Limerick. I think Clare will beat Sligo, even though it's in Markievicz Park. I think Sligo have been fairly flat in this league campaign. And I'm going to go with Wexford to beat Westmeath. Absolutely love Wexford. Wexford's my second county, if you like. So a little bit of bias coming into it there. But I think they've been on an unbelievable journey in this league campaign. And John Hegarty, since he's come in, has absolutely steadied the ship. And yeah, I think Wexford will get over the line. And just so you know, this is how the table looks heading into the final round of action. Down there on their 100% record. Wexford Westmeath, as Aaron said, is just a straight battle for promotion. Whoever wins that game goes up, but as Aaron also said, a draw is good enough for Westmeath based off of their score difference. Unless Clare were to win by a ton, if they were to win by something like, 20 points, that would really shake it up, and maybe Clare would be able to snatch it, because then obviously they'd all be on 8 points each. Laois, that's not possible. Apologies. Just ordinary level maths here. Don't mind me, lads. Laois, Sligo, and then Limerick and Fermanagh then down the bottom of the table, but Fermanagh already gone, as was said. So yeah, we're going to move on now down to Division 4, and when you're talking about getting the calculators out, lads, Jesus Christ, this division, I mean, literally anything can happen in this division this weekend. Just for the matches, you got Antrim facing London Sunday at 1 p.m. in Carrigan. We've got Carlow hosting Leitrim Sunday at 1 p.m. in Cullen Park. Longford hosting Wicklow Sunday at 1 p.m. in Pearse Park. And Tipperary hosting Waterford Sunday at 1 p.m. in Semple Stadium. Now, Aaron, as I mentioned, we're going live with the live stream at 1 p.m. I think this division will be the most difficult to keep track out of by far.
Absolutely, it will be, yeah. And I do think at GA League tables on Twitter, I think they usually do like a kind of almost like a red zone where they actually they have all the kind of updates going in live and everything else. So I'll absolutely be keeping an eye on that as we go along. And no doubt about it, he's going to have a very busy day, I think, trying to keep Division 4 all together. Because, 2 points separating 7 teams. Every game has something to play for. There's so many different things that can happen. There is a scenario where any two of the 7 teams can get promoted, albeit there is a lot of things that need to happen for the likes of Tipperary, Leitrim, and even Antrim to a certain extent to get promoted. There is also the chance that London could get promoted, and London could play Division 3 football for the first time in their history. Under the new format of the National Football League. They played in Division 2A, I think, before, but that was obviously a different format. So, what an incredible story that could be for London if they can get over the line, albeit they're playing Antrim. So, lads, it's Division 4 is going to be mental.
Dublin is great here saying, lads, will you do commentary in English on the TG Car feed? We won't be able to do commentary necessarily on one game, but I do believe we'll be giving updates and everything like that on what's going on, all the key moments. You won't be confused. Well, you'll be as confused as us, which might mean that you don't have a clue what's going on. But we're going to try and keep you all as up to date. Peter saying, think Joe Murphy cursed Carlo when he went on The View. I'm telling you, lads, you can't go on The View if you don't want your county's form to fall apart. But yeah, when you're looking at it, the permutations, look at this. Just look at this. Going into the final week, Carlow and Wicklow are top on 8 points, but Carlow obviously ahead based off the head-to-head record that they have against Wicklow. London are on 7 points. Longford are on 7 points. Antrim, Tipperary and Leitrim are all on 6 points. Waterford are the only team going into this weekend that don't have a chance at getting promoted. It is just absolutely insane. If we're talking about who could go up, I'm going to go for Antrim to beat London, and that would put Antrim on 8 points. I'm going to go with Carlow to beat Leitrim, and that would put Carlow on 10. I'm going to go for Wicklow to beat Longford, and that will put Wicklow on 10 as well. And then that's the two of them out of sight for me, with Carlow shading Wicklow based off of their score difference. So if Carlow and Wicklow win, then all of a sudden this division becomes really straightforward. If either of them slip up, then it turns into an absolute madhouse. Lads, are either of them going to slip up? And if so, who?
I don't think so, no. No, I don't think so. And I know the division is a little bit mental, but I just think for the only one I would be concerned about is Carlow, just because they're coming in on the back of 2 defeats. And they could, I know they're playing Leitrim, they are at home, but they lost to London last week as well. Leitrim are coming in on a bit of form. So they're the only ones I would be concerned about. I think Wicklow will be fine. They've got a good score difference as well. Big win for them versus Tipperary. I think they're playing Longford. I think they'll be fine.
Do you know what? If I'm being honest, I really think that if either of them are going to slip up, it's Wicklow away in Pearse Park. Like Longford have randomly pulled impressive wins out of nowhere in this league campaign. I'd be a little bit worried about that, but I will shade it. Matthew, do you agree Wicklow and Carlow to go up?
Yeah, I think Wicklow Carlow will go up, but I agree with your take, Seamus, more to be fair, and who will slip up. I think Wicklow could, simply because Pearse Park seems like a fortress for Longford in this league campaign. I think they beat Carlow up there, so like anything can happen with Longford, but they are very inconsistent at the best of times as well. So yeah, I think it'll be Wicklow and Carlow, but wouldn't be surprised if Longford squeezing as well if they get the win over Wicklow.
We have a great question in here from Mikey. Mikey asking, are we going to do the red zone for, are we going to have the live tables up and everything like that? Now, we won't necessarily have the live tables up on the screen, but we will let you know, okay, as it stands right now, X team is staying up, X team is going down, X team is getting promoted, etc., etc. But yeah, that's the men's football, and it's taken us an hour. So with an eye on the clock, we're going to move faster through the games that don't have any permutation. So any game in round 7 of the hurling that is a dead rubber, that nothing can really happen, we are going to move very quickly through them and focus on the hurling games where something is to be gained and something is to be lost based off of the result. So looking at Division 1A, round 7 then, the game that has the most permutations is the clash of Limerick and Galway, Saturday at 7 p.m. in the Gaelic grounds. Cork then host Offaly Saturday at 7 p.m. in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, while Tipperary and Kilkenny then is the dead rubber. Both sides are safe now that Waterford are relegated, and that one takes place Saturday at 7 p.m. in Semple Stadium. Matthew, what are you thinking? Final round of hurling's Premier Division.
First of all, sorry, Liam, Cork are beating Offaly. I'm sorry. I'll just put it out there. No, Cork are getting to the league final. I don't think we need to say much on the game. Cork will play their B team or whatever and rotate a few players, but I don't think they'll lose to Offaly this weekend. There is actually a scenario where Tipperary get to the league final. If Galway beat Limerick and if Tipperary absolutely pummel Kilkenny, which is possible because Kilkenny are absolutely terrible at this present moment, Tip could sneak their way into a league final. Now, if Limerick get a draw or win, then they're in the league final anyway. And despite the way Galway have performed in this league campaign, they performed brilliantly so far. I still back Limerick to win that game, so that eradicates any potential permutations there. So I think it will be a Cork and Limerick league final, but I think Galway will push Limerick very close at this one. And look at Tipperary, Kilkenny, it won't be enough for Tipperary, but I think they will get the win in the end. And to be honest with you, judging by the way Kilkenny are going at this present moment, it could be 10 plus.
Yeah, I'm going for a clean sweep for the home teams as well. I've been impressed by Limerick in this league campaign. They're in that kind of weird stage that Dublin were in on the football side, like kind of the 2022, 2023 era, where you're trying to kind of put a new spin on this unbelievably successful team. And basically my point is that there was one more All-Ireland in that Dublin team in 2023. There definitely, in my opinion, is still another All-Ireland in this Limerick team. They are absolutely still one of the front runners to win it. They're tweaking the side, getting lads like Aidan O'Connor in, getting more minutes into these players that are going to be the future Limerick players like Adam English, Shane O'Brien are really starting to take the mantle now. And then they still have those guys that have been there, done it, got the T-shirt year after year after year, like Diarmaid Byrnes, like Aaron Gallan, who still show no signs of slowing down. So I think they're in a great place. I think Limerick will beat Galway, even though I've been very impressed by Galway, especially that win over Kilkenny. I was like, wow, like that was seriously ruthless. But I think Limerick will beat them, given it's in the Gaelic grounds and the form that they're in. Cork, I think, will beat Offaly as well, and that sets up then a league final between both sides. Whereas for Tip, I think they'll beat Kilkenny in Semple Stadium, but given that, you know, heaven and earth have to move for them to get into a league final, I don't think they will. I think it will be a Limerick and Cork league final. Aaron, do you agree?
Yeah, I do agree. I do have a funny feeling Kilkenny might push Tipperary a little bit closer though, mainly because there's nothing kind of on the line, and they might bring through they might put a few fresher players into the team. There'll be no pressure on them necessarily in terms of this game, but I still think Tipperary will go and win it. Yeah, I think Limerick will get the job done as well. I think it will be a very close game between them and Galway. Wouldn't be surprised if Galway necessarily did it in terms of the form that they are, but I think Limerick should still have enough. And then, I'm going to go Offaly to... No, I'm going to go Cork to be Offaly.
You have to do that. Even when Liam's over in Canada, we can just... we have to do a bit of banter with him as always. Interesting comment here. Limerick will win the All-Ireland from a Galway fan. And Porter says, so Limerick Cork League final and hopefully bait the laird out of each other. And that's from...
Where would that be, Matthew, actually? Where would that be, that league final? No idea.
Off the top of the head, I don't know, but we do the research into it, and we'll find out. But we're going to move on now to Division 1B round 7, because again, when we're talking permutations, this one has a ton. Dublin need to win this game. Simply put, Aaron, our destiny is in our own hands. We have to go away to Cullen Park and we have to beat Carlow. Clare have done their part. They beat Wexford in Port Keysog. Thank you very much to Banner County for taking care of that. But now, Aaron, we have to take care of business. We took care of the first part, beat down in Parnell Park. Now we have to go away to Cullen Park and beat Carlow so as not to let Wexford slip back in.
Yeah, and I do think we will do it. I do think we will win the game. Like with Dublin, we have been a lot better, I think, over the last couple of years in terms of playing the lesser teams and getting over the line and winning these games. I know we had the slip up versus Offaly last year in the league, but I think generally speaking, we have been a lot better in these games. This year's a fair reflection of we went away to Antrim when Antrim had suddenly looked like they maybe had started to turn a corner and beat them fairly comfortably away from home. We brushed aside Kildare when Kildare have given a lot of teams problems this year. We brushed aside down as well, and that was a very, very dominant win, you know, that way. So I think we will have enough, to be honest. I think we will do it. I think knowing what's on the line, knowing the opportunity that's presenting themselves. Carlow haven't been as good as I thought they would be in this division as well. They have had a few disappointing defeats, and there is a chance of relegation as well from them. So yeah, I do think Dublin will win it. I think Carlow will push us a little bit, but I do still think we'll have enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Dublin to win this one. I think we're in too good form. Like a lot of people are sleeping on just how impressive our victories have been in this division, and the way that even when our backs have been against the wall, like that Wexford game, we absolutely kept going to the bitter end and got that draw. And that equalising score from Chris Crummey, it felt crucial at the time. As it's gone on, it's proved to be even more crucial than you might have thought in the moment. So I think we are going to go away to Carlow and we are going to win. Ryan saying 323 to 15 points. I'm not sure it's going to be that heavy, but I can see us winning by about 7 or 8 points. Maybe a little bit testy at stages, because I mean, I watched the first game of the year for Dublin, which was in the Walsh Cup, and Dublin put out a strong enough side. Carlow did hang with us for a long time. We've played against each other plenty of times, but so then there is that bit of familiarity and stuff like that, and Carlow would know how to tackle us and stuff like that. But I'm going to go with us to get a relatively comfortable win, but it could get ugly pretty quick if we slip up. Matthew, is it a clean sweep for the Dubs?
Yeah, I think Dublin win the game as well. And I think they get the job done against smaller oppositions. There is a scenario, actually, I'll be treated by this, where Kildare actually get promoted. Dublin lose to Carlow and Kildare beat Wexford. Kildare are up. And that'll be absolutely mental. No, but I think
let's move to that next game. Take it away. Wexford, Kildare, Saturday, 5 p.m. in Wexford Park. Can Kildare turn Wexford over?
I think Dublin will go up, but I think Kildare will turn Wexford over, yeah. I seen Wexford against Clare and I wasn't impressed with them at all. I think there's too many loose ends of that Wexford team. If you take out Simon Roach and Lee Chin's influence, they're very, very ordinary. Kildare performed like a team in this league campaign, and I think they will get a memorable victory. It won't be enough to get promoted because of Dublin playing Carlow, but it will be a memorable victory for Kildare in terms of showing where they are in their development.
Aaron, do you agree? Could Kildare pull off the incredible?
Oh, I don't know. I'd love to see it. I feel like Wexford might just snake it, though. Maybe in a similar way to the way that they beat Antrim and Down. Do you know what I mean? I think this is a game where Kildare are in front. They're the better team. They've chances, goal opportunities, and everything else. But I think Wexford might just snake it maybe at the death. But I do hope I'm wrong, because I would love to see Kildare do it in terms of the progression of Kildare hurling and everything else. But I could absolutely see it happen. But I do think Wexford might just nick it.
Interestingly, the comments certainly, Peter saying Kildare, the story of the Hurling League, and he says heading down to Slaney side, expecting us to beat them. And so does Ryan. Ryan says 224 to Kildare, 222 to Wexford. Matthew's also going for Kildare. Aaron, you're going for Wexford. I'm going to agree with you. I think Wexford, they have to get the job done themselves in order to give themselves any hope of promotion in case Dublin slip up. And like they would be kicking themselves if Dublin slip up and get a draw or something against Carlow, or basically don't do our part and open the door for them. I think they'd be absolutely going mad. So I think Wexford probably will win. But again, I agree with you. Even though I love Wexford, I'd love to see Kildare do it because that's another, huge boost for a county that is on the rise in the game. The final game down in Division 1B round 7 then is Down versus Antrim, Saturday at 5 p.m. in Park Esler. Now, this one again has the added spice of this is for Kings of Ulster. Like this is, in this game, Antrim for years have been the county from Ulster that have been competing in the Leinster Championship, competing in the Liam McCarthy Cup and everything like that, and winning John McDonough's and everything like that. Whereas Down now have risen up to Division 1B and now they get a crack finally at Antrim, and it's in Park Esler. This one might have a bit of spice to it, Matthew.
Added to the calculations, if Down win by 27 points, then they survive.
So it's not over yet. It's a long shot, but it's not over yet.
No, but no, you're all serious. No, I think Antrim will get the job done in the end. If Down are to win, it'll be slightly so. It'll be a nip and tuck game. And Ulster Derby, it is very interesting, but it's just a shame that Down are all but relegated in this one and Antrim are all but safe. Like the relegation battle would probably be over with the fact that Dublin will beat Carlow. So I don't see Antrim slipping up in this one. The pressure won't be on them. I think they will get over the line eventually here.
Yeah, I'm going with Antrim as well. Aaron, is it a clean sweep?
Yeah, it is. I think it will be. I think Down will have their moments, but I do think Antrim will come through.
Ryan here saying Down by 28. So that would be Down safe in Division 1B if that was to take place. Then we also have time now for Take Your Pick. So we're going to run through Division 2, 3, and 4's round 7. And I'm going to just ask for the team off you both with an eye on the clock and everything like that. So starting off with Division 2's round 7, we have London versus Laois, Mayo versus Westmeath, and Meath versus Kerry. So Aaron, I'll go to you first. London or Laois in McGovern Park?
Laois, yeah. Mayo
versus Westmeath in McHale Park?
Westmeath.
And Meath versus Kerry in St. Loman's Park?
Kerry.
Matthew, London or Laois?
Laois, and they'll go 6 from 6.
Mayo versus Westmeath in McHale Park?
Westmeath to win, giving themselves a shot at promotion. Mayo to get relegated.
Meath versus Kerry in St. Loman's Park?
Kerry to edge it and Kerry to go up with Laois.
Yeah, I'm going for a clean sweep with the home teams. I'm agreeing with you. Laois to beat London, Westmeath to beat Mayo, and Kerry to beat Meath. Moving on then to Division 3's round 7. Matthew, I'll go to you first this time. Armagh versus Fermanagh at the Athletic Grounds.
Dead rubber, but Armagh will win.
Roscommon versus Donegal at Dr. Hyde.
Essentially a promotion semi-final. I'm going to say Roscommon slightly because of home advantage.
And Wicklow versus Louth in Ockram.
Wicklow to win and seal promotion with Roscommon up to Division 2.
Aaron, any disagreements at all?
I'll go with Donegal to be Roscommon, just to be different.
I'm going to agree with Matthew again. I do believe Wicklow and Roscommon have been, in my opinion, the most impressive sides in Division 3. And that brings us on to Division 4, round 7. So Aaron, I'll go to you first again. So you have Cavan versus Monaghan in Breffni Park.
Yeah, I'll go with Cavan there.
Lancashire versus Warwickshire in Port na Heron.
Ooh, bit of a derby this one. Warwickshire.
Longford versus Sligo in Pearse Park.
That's an interesting one, actually. Two teams at the top of the division. Longford, Pearse Park, Fortress.
I'm going to go with Sligo, but the rest I agree with. Matthew, what are you thinking?
I think Cavan will get over the line their game. Lancashire will win the British Derby. Both of those games are essentially dead rubbers. And Longford Sligo is a dress rehearsal for the league final, which will happen the next week. It'll be a draw because both sides will shadow box.
Very interesting. Now, I wonder will they want to win those games. You have Laois, Westmeath and Kerry in terms of the Division 2 predictions. Ryan saying then from Manor, Roscommon, Wicklow there for Division 3. And then for Division 4, Ryan saying Cavan, Warwickshire and Sligo. So we're going to move on now. That's the hurling predicted and previewed. We're going to move now to our third code, and it is round 6 of the LGFA Leagues. We still have a lot to get through, lads. So let's lock in and move through. So we have Division 1 round 6, and it is a clash again of the All-Ireland semi-final last year. And we just can't get enough of Galway, can we? Saturday, 5 p.m. in Tuam. We go away to Galway once again. The last time we played these in the LGFA, Carla Rowe scored one of the best instinctive goals I think I've seen in Gaelic football. But yeah, this time our league has been a little bit slower. We certainly haven't exploded out of the traps. This win, though, would spark something if we were to get over the line here. Can we do it?
Yeah, it would. It'd be the start of our season, really. I think if we could go there and win. But to be honest with you, I do think with Galway having home advantage, won 4 out of 5 games, I do think they are a little bit stronger than us, to be honest with you, at this moment in time. I think obviously we're in the dogfight and everything else, and it's a similar scenario. It's kind of similar when we played Armagh the last time out as well. I would go with Galway. Like, you would be looking at the form of Orla Nolan, like, who scored 2-8 the last day versus Armagh, but I think Galway might just have the edge here.
Yeah, I think we're missing a lot of big players, and I think departures in the side, the likes of Hannah Tyrrell and everything stepping away, the toll is showing on the team. It is showing. We have started the league quite slowly. We're on 4 points at the bottom of the table. Galway are on 12 points, as you mentioned, 4 wins out of 5. In the LGFA League, of course, it's 3 points for a win and 1 point for a draw. We need something because we're level on points with both Armagh and Kildare, and we need something to poke our nose ahead of them. But I think this game is too much, going away to who I consider to be direct contenders for the All-Ireland, and beating them I think would be a little bit of a stretch. So I'm going to go with Galway to win. Is it a clean sweep, Matthew?
Yeah, I think Galway will get over the line. I think if they win this game, they'll confirm a league final spot. So they'll want to do that this weekend.
Absolutely. And one of the teams that they are very likely to meet in that league final is yourselves, Cork, if you get over the line this weekend against Meath. Saturday, 5 p.m. in MTU Cork. How are you feeling heading into this one, man?
Yeah, I think Cork will win the game in the end. There's positivity in Cork at this present moment as well. Breed Stack, I talked to Breed Stack at the Star Sport podcast recently, and she was at the game with Rena Buckley against Waterford, and she couldn't get over how fit the Cork players were, and they're really suited under the new rules. The younger players in particular, or even the experienced campaigners, the likes of Melissa Duggan and Anya Terry-O'Sullivan, Katie Quirk, if you call her, experienced at this stage as well. Like, they look very, very good, Cork, at this present moment. Joe Carroll, it's funny, like, at the start of the league, the aim was to stay up in Division 1, but no, the aims have changed in many ways. And yeah, I think Cork will be really happy with their league campaign, and they will probably seal a league final spot by winning this weekend.
Yeah, I think they've been very, very impressive in the league campaign so far, because, I mean, we all did think that they would be one of the teams to go down. And when you're mentioning about the expectations at the start of the league campaign, it was that they were expected to definitely be scrapping there. But some of the wins that they've had, especially beating Kerry by double scores away from home and everything like that, they've looked really, really good. So yeah, I think they're going to seal their place in the league final this weekend, and that would be themselves and Galway confirmed in the league final against each other, which would be interesting because that means that last year's league final in Division 2 was Cork versus Galway. And then the next year's Division 1 final is between Cork and Galway as well, which is something that Dublin and Derry, of course, did in the men's side in 2023 and then 2024. We're moving on to the next game then. Armagh against Kerry. Aaron, I'll come to you for this one. Saturday, 5 p.m. in Silverbridge Harps. Armagh had a very slow start to the league campaign, but they have recently got their first win and then got a draw as well. They're on 4 points, just like Dublin, whereas Kerry are only on 6 points. So if Armagh win this, they actually jump ahead of them.
Yeah, and it is an interesting one. It's another double header, obviously, with the men's football as well. It isn't a double header at the game, I should say, but it is just obviously the kind of clash of codes with Armagh playing Kerry in both ladies football and in the men's football as well. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think both teams have been inconsistent. Both teams haven't had some of their best players available, but Armagh in particular look like they've turned the corner a little bit recently. And you know what, with the home advantage, I actually think I give them the edge here.
Matthew, would you agree?
Yeah, I think Kerry would want to win more, to be fair. Like, if Kerry lose this game during the relegation dogfight, I don't think Mark Burke would essentially want that for this Kerry team. So I think the want will be there for Kerry to get over the line and seal their place in Division 1.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Kerry to win this. I think their backs are against the wall now. I think they're starting to look at, like, if we lose this game, let's say Dublin win their game as well against Galway, which is unlikely. I think Galway will win, but then all of a sudden you've got Dublin and Armagh above Kerry, and all of a sudden they are in real danger of relegation battle going into the final weekend. They're not going to want that, and I think they're going to bring the hammer down in this week. Matthew, the final game in Division 1 then is Waterford versus Kildare, Saturday at 5 p.m. in Fraher Field. Obviously, Waterford started off this league campaign like a house on fire with 3 wins out of 3. They've lost back-to-back games, but still have a score difference of plus 18. They're playing against Kildare, who are also on 4 points, tied with Dublin and Armagh. It's at home, this one. You'd have to fancy Waterford to get back on winning ways.
Yeah, I think Waterford will get over the line, and worth noting their 2 in a row defeats were against the top 2 in Galway and Cork, so I don't think that's any shame from a Waterford point of view. They'll get over the line at home. Kildare will challenge them. They obviously need to survive as well. They got a real fillip after beating Meath the last time, but yeah, I think Waterford will win.
I agree. Aaron, is it a clean sweep for Waterford?
Yeah, I think so. I know they've had a few disappointing results recently, but yeah, I think they'll get back on the winning run here, I think.
Okay, well, now it's time then for Take Your Pick LGFA edition. We're going to run through round 6 of Division 2 and Division 3, and then we have the final game from Division 4, round 7, which is Offaly and Longford, which we will come to. But starting off then, Division 2, round 6. Matthew, I'll start with you. Monaghan versus Wexford in Inniskeen.
Monaghan.
Tyrone versus Cavan in Galpally Pierces.
Tyrone.
Westmeath versus Mayo in Athlone.
Mayo.
And Tipperary versus Donegal in Clonmel.
Donegal.
Aaron, any disagreements at all?
I think Cavan might beat Tyrone. Yeah, we'll go with Cavan to beat Tyrone.
Okay, well, now you're in the hot seat this time for Division 3, round 6. So Division 3, round 6 sees Antrim. Sorry, that's good. Sees Antrim host Laois at the Antrim GA Centre of Excellence.
Yeah, we'll go with Antrim.
Down versus Limerick in Leitrim Fontenoys.
Down.
Fermanagh versus Clare in Brian Boru.
Draw.
And Roscommon versus Louth in the Hyde.
Roscommon. Why not? Upset the odds.
I'm going to go with Louth to win that game against Roscommon. I'm going to go with Fermanagh to beat Clare. I'm going to go with Down to beat Limerick and Laois to beat Antrim. Matthew, what are you thinking for those?
Fermanagh to win, Antrim to win. I'm going to go Down to beat Limerick and Roscommon to beat Louth.
And then the final game then in Division 4 then was, of course, that refixed fixture from round 5, Offaly versus Longford in St. Rynagh's. We went with Offaly to win a couple of weeks ago when the game was supposed to be. I think if we all stuck with what we said.
Yeah.
Okay, Offaly it is. Then Ryan here saying Antrim down for Fermanagh Roscommon, and Peter is also agreeing with that, and that's the Division 3 predictions. Now we're going to move on to the final code, and there is no better way to start off round 5 with the Camogie action than a repeat of last year's All-Ireland final. Galway versus Cork, Saturday at 2 p.m. in Athenry. Matthew, what are you expecting from this one?
It's a difficult one to predict. Both sides have a chance of a league final. Galway probably more so than Cork. Cork could actually still get relegated if Kilkenny beat Antrim. And yeah, if Kilkenny beat Antrim, then Cork are in massive or Antrim beat Kilkenny, should I say. Cork are in massive danger of going down. So you would imagine Cork would have the want to get over the line this one. It was disappointing to draw the way they did against Tipperary last week. Laura Hayes and Germany both said it wasn't good enough. I know they have a lot of injuries. Ashley Thompson's out to July, which is a massive loss to an already growing absentee list. But I think Cork will win because the want will be there. I think Cork will get over the line against Galway. I don't think they'll get to the league final because the results won't go their way, but they'll win this one.
Aaron, do you agree?
Yeah, I think so as well. I agree.
And this is another one where results and everything like that could go bonkers in terms of this final day of action. Peter saying Galway home by 3. Porter saying Galway win. I am going to go with Galway. I think home advantage and everything like that. I think Cork have been a little bit below par in this league campaign, emphasised by the defeat to Antrim and everything like that, and the draw with Tipperary. I think in another year when Cork are at tip-top form, I think they're winning those games. So I'm going to go with Galway to win. Then the next game up, Tipperary versus Waterford, Saturday at 2 p.m. at the Rag. Waterford have been the standout without question, 100% record. Do they finish it out with this game, Aaron?
I think so, yeah. Now there is that kind of thing of, right, they have 12 points on the board. Maybe they could afford to lose this game, and maybe Tipperary's want might be a little bit more, given the fact that they're obviously tinkering on relegation. But I think Waterford will do it, to be honest. The former Eve Rocket, amongst others, Lorraine Bray. I think Waterford will do it.
Matthew, do you agree?
Disagree. I think Tipperary will win the game because Waterford are confirmed in a league final. Tipperary would want to win this game and get over the line. I think they will get over the line and save themselves from relegation. And I think Tipperary will win the game.
Yeah, another side not safe from relegation there, Tipperary. So I think the want as well in Tip, especially given that it's in the Rag, I think they're going to get over the line in this one. Interestingly, Waterford have survived the GA plus the View curse by at least 1 week. Of course, Niamh Rocket went on it, and then they managed to win their 4th game in a row. So fair play to the Daisha for outliving the curse. But I think maybe this week it might catch them, and Tipperary will win. And then moving on to the final game in Division 1A Round 5, Kilkenny will host Antrim Saturday at 2 p.m. in Nolan Park. Antrim are bottom of the table with their 1 win, even though it was against Cork, which is pretty incredible. They still can survive. If they win this game, they go level on points with Kilkenny, and then they'd have a better head-to-head record with them. If Galway were to lose to Cork, incredibly, Galway in 2nd place would be then level on points with Antrim, who are currently in 6th. How is this one going to go, Aaron?
It's a hard one to call, to be honest with you. I think, with Kilkenny having the home advantage, you probably would maybe edge towards Kilkenny. But I do have a sneaky feeling Antrim might just pull it off. They pulled off, obviously, the big win versus Cork. When you look at some of Kilkenny's, I know, obviously, they got a big win versus Galway, but I just have a funny feeling Antrim might do it, so I'm going to go with them.
Matthew, could it actually happen?
Unfortunately, I don't think it will. I think Antrim will be sealed in going down back to Division 1B, and I think Kilkenny, with this win, will confirm a league final spot.
Who do you think has been kind of the biggest disappointment? Because some big teams have been underperforming in the league this season.
You'd have to say Cork. I know the players are missing and there is injuries there, but the way Galway performed, particularly Galway had, to be fair, a valid excuse, I would say, against Waterford. They were trapped over the States through a snowstorm. So, they didn't get proper training in. But from a Cork point of view, it's just been under par. And hopefully they will improve as championship comes by.
Well, that's it. And we're heading into the final round of action, and you're looking at this situation here. This is how the table looks. Obviously, Waterford confirmed, qualified for the Camogie League final. And the rest, it's all up in the air. I've gone for Galway to beat Cork, which would put them on 9 points and into a league final, especially with their score difference and their victory over Kilkenny. So that would put them on 9 points and into the league final. Tipperary I've gone with to beat Waterford. That would put them on 7 points. That would leave them in the exact position they are. And that means that I haven't gone for Cork to go down along with Antrim. Absolutely crazy stuff. But sorry, apologies. Apologies. Antrim still to go down for me because they will lose to Kilkenny. But Cork to be made to sweat a little bit. But we are going to move on then to take your pick Camogie edition, and we're going to start off, lads, with Division 1B. Matthew, I'll come to you first for Division 1B. So starting off, we have Clare hosting Offaly and Port Keysog.
Clare and to see in league final spot.
Down versus Wexford in Leitrim Fontenoys.
You know what? Down. Wexford in relegation trouble.
And Dublin versus Limerick in Abbottstown.
I'm going to say Limerick will be in the final with Clare. Limerick to win.
Aaron, any disagreements?
I think Dublin will be Limerick. I think we'll do enough to get to the league final.
I agree. I think that's my one disagreement with your picks. I think Down have been very impressive. Obviously, they beat us in this league campaign, but Clare, I think, by far have been the standout in this division. Then Division 2A, round 5. Aaron, I'll go to you first for these. We have Derry hosting Kerry in Ballinascreen.
Go for Kerry.
We have Meath hosting Carlow in Donaghmore Ashburn.
I'll go for Meath to win that, yeah.
Laois versus Westmeath in O'Moore Park.
And then, go for Laois as well. So top 3 all win.
I agree. Matthew, any disagreements?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have no disagreements. I think I agree with all them predictions. I think Kerry and Meath will be the league final. Carlow will be relegated.
Perfect. And I will go back to you, Aaron, for Division 3A, round 5. Armagh versus Wicklow in St. Mary's.
We'll go for Armagh.
My dog wants to pipe up and get involved in the predictions there. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm going to go with Armagh to beat Wicklow, home advantage. I'm going to go for Kildare to beat Tyrone then, which is the other Camogie clash in that division. And then Matthew, moving on then, the final game that we're looking at, the Division 3B final. Mayo play Monaghan in Mostram GAA. Silverware on the line here. Who are you fancying?
I'll go Mayo to win this game.
Aaron, Mayo or Monaghan for this one?
Monaghan.
Yeah. I so I have to cast and vote. I'm going to go for Mayo. Let's get over the line in this one and seal their first silverware of the season. But that is all of the action previewed and predicted bravely. Dublin is great here saying, well done, lads. Great preview and cannot wait for 1 p.m. on Sunday. Peter saying, lads, fantastic preview as always. Thanks, Emil. See you on Sunday at 1 p.m. for the live watch along with a pint in Newbridge. So we're getting lots of love. Appreciate all of this. Ryan saying, thank you, lads. See you on Super Sunday. And the poll at the end there, 86% of you said that Dublin would get relegated. 14% of you said Galway, and none of you said that Armagh would go down. Very interesting stuff. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we will be live Sunday at 1 p.m. and we'll be putting all the details about it across our social media pages. So stay tuned for that. We cannot wait to see it end. It's going to be a crazy day. Bring the calculators along. And until then, Torah.
Instinct.